This is Tennis Pete here, and I just had a request from my coaching group on Sunday. Can we have something written down to help us with the idea of tennis home bases, which in common parlance is more to do with recovery positions. However, in our neck of the woods, we've ended up calling it home base theory. So I'm going to start with this diagram here. And what we've got is player 1 is in blue, player 2 is red, and the tennis ball is number 3. And if you think of yourself as player number 1, there you are looking down the other end of the court, and your opponent is about to hit the ball, and the question here is, where do I stand? So what I've done is I've drawn the two widest shots that your opponent could hit. One down the line here, and the other one cross court at an angle. So you can think of these as your goalposts, if you like, and you're the goalkeeper. So the basic principle behind recovery positions in tennis, which is always good to remember, is you want to stand in the middle of your opponent's two widest shots. It's really as simple as that. So now here's the common myth that people that don't quite understand the geometry of the court have, and that's that you should stand in the middle of where the lines of the court are. And if you look at where player number 1 is at the moment, that's the center mark on the baseline, and a lot of people have the idea that that's where I should stand. I should be in the middle of the court in order to cover my opponent's shots. However, when you look at the goalposts as I've drawn them here, you can see that there's a big gap. And that presents us with a solution which is easy to fix. So all you have to do is think of what's the middle of these two lines. And what I'll do is I'll just draw a different color line and bisect the angle here, and see if I can get it right in the center of the two yellow goalposts. There we are. So this gives us some interesting information about where to stand for recovery position. It's going to be somewhere on that grey line. So now if you're at the back of the court and you want to stay at the back of the court and cover your opponent's best shots, because of course you don't know where they're going to hit the ball. They could hit it down the line, or they could hit it cross court. You've got to be ready for anything. So where do you go? You go to the middle. Oops. Let me just check. See? There we go. And there's your recovery position. Now shift it across to the opposite side to where you've hit the ball previously. And that's an easy way to remember it. Just go to the opposite side if you're at the back of the court to where the ball is. And that way you'll have everything covered. You'll be able to easily get this one, or equally easily get this one. Notice the movement pattern here. The shortest distance between your recovery position and this shot is perpendicular to the line that's yellow. And the shortest distance here perpendicular to the line that's yellow. So that would be your flight path to get to the ball as efficiently as possible. Okay, so there's your recovery position. if you're at the baseline. Now, if you've hit the ball over to position number 3 and you're wondering where to stand if you're at the net, look at where the recovery position is now. And you need to decide how close to the net do I want to be. Do I want to be with my nose over the net, in which case I'm lobbable? Maybe my opponent can't lob that well or never even thinks about it, in which case closer to the net might be a tactical solution that works. However, if they're aware that I'm lobbable, I need to cover the lob, so I'm going to stand as far back as I need to be able to cover the lobs. And as a starting point for a lot of people, it's round about here. Maybe a foot or two inside the service line and a good step to the right of the center line. That way you've got all of the volleys covered as well. Now, if you look at the footwork pattern here and the shortest and most efficient way to move to the shots that your opponent could hit, the same principle applies. So the shortest distance to the yellow ball is across perpendicular here to the yellow line of flight, and the shortest distance to the cross-court pass is if I cut it off by moving forwards, which is still perpendicular to the yellow flight of the ball. And you see that the distance that I'm moving to cover this ball down the line pass and this ball, the cross-court pass, is pretty similar really, if not identical. So you've really placed yourself in the middle of your opponent's two best shots. And that does it. So if you're at the net, coming into volley, the easy way to remember it is you stand the same side that you've hit the ball to, or the same side that your opponent is about to hit the ball from. The same side of the court. And that concludes the principles of how to find your home base in tennis. And I'll do a second video on what's particularly interesting to me, which is how you think your way efficiently around the court whilst prioritizing court positioning, so that you can find a way to play that you almost never give up court position and never give your opponent any gaps to hit to. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for listening.